The combat system can be more engaging when we practice different techniques and ideas in our game, like by adding camera shake effect, sword jamming effect, additive reactions, different audio feedbacks, VFX, responsive ragdolls, and the list keeps going. But there is one effect that is really eye-catching and is used in many big games like blackmyth Wukong, a God of War. It is the Shockwave effect that I'm talking about. The blending of air by the force of impact is immensely satisfying to watch because it makes the whole scene a lot better. Still today I'm not finding any tutorials that guides us to create this awesome looking effect, and adding up, some of my viewers requested me to create a tutorial on this topic. So I thought of sharing the process by which I was able to achieve this effect in game. Hello everybody, this is Game Factory. Welcome to the channel. Before starting the tutorial, I would like to thank all of the new subscribers who have supported me to create contents on YouTube.
Thank you, sir.
To let you know, I'll be creating videos related to game development, and I'm starting a new series in this channel to create unique contents and videos about distinctive topics that you may not find elsewhere.
Yeah, boy.
If you like what you're seeing, then support me to grow this channel, to make this a full-time for me and do what I love the most, that is of course making games. And watch the video till the end. I don't want you to miss any crucial part, and also at last I've given the updates on my upcoming fan-made game, which is God of War, based on Hindu mythology. So let's give this a pause and fly back to the subject. This tutorial is divided in 4 parts. First, we are going to create the shader. Second, fix the rendering problem. Third, create a visual effect to present our shockwave. And finally, spawn the shockwave in the gameplay. Without wasting any more time, let's get started. The first step of creating the shockwave is to create a shader that can visualize our air distortion effect. Let's start by installing these 2 packages from Package Manager, Shader Graph and Visual Effect Graph. Insert Shader Graph is a node-based editor that helps to create shaders. And Visual Effect Graph is also a node-based editor that allows you to generate visual effects and particle simulations. I will be skipping unwanted parts in this video because I don't want to elongate the video by adding unnecessary tutorials. To make your work easy, I have uploaded the files on the internet. The link would be in the description, and if you'd like to copy the shader, then I've already given the preview. After having the shader video, we'll be adding a new quad in the scene. Create a material and attach the newly created shader and drag and drop the material into the quad. You may see the Shockwave effect being projected onto the scene, and play around with the values in material to figure out the best possible setting for your Shockwave.
Nice.
If there is any transparent object that is to be projected into the effect, the shader does not render it. Like shown in the screen, it just neglects the transparent object and denies its own alpha, leaving us with an irritating transparent square. This is not a bug or any sort of error. In simple explanation, it's happening due to the order of render passes. Unity renders a scene in multiple passes. It visualizes the images step by step, like diffuse color at first, ambient occlusion second, normal, metallic, roughness, and so on. And these images are then blended together to create the final preview on the screen.
Excuse me, could someone help me to find the back of the line?
Oh, no. It's okay. Go right ahead.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like the fix can be rendering the distortion effect before the transparent objects. Here are the steps toward fixing this issue. Create a new layer and name it as distort or whatever you like. and change the layer of the Shockwave object to this new one. This applies for any other objects that uses this material. Go to your universal render pipeline asset. You'd find that in your project settings. Now select the first item from the renderer list. That object is universal renderer data. Here at the bottom, click on add renderer feature and select the render object feature. Set the event to before rendering transparent. Expand the filters drop down. Set the hue to transparent and set the layer mask to distort. And the final thing you will be doing is to go to the filtering section and deselect the distort layer in both opaque and transparent layer mask. Just by doing this, we fixed the issue with transparent objects. We got the shader and all our requirements. Now it's time to create a particle system that emits a expanding circular ring which fits over lifetime.
Watch out for the shock, it's coming. Holy smoking Toledos.
You can either use Unity's particle system or create a visual effect. Here in this video, I will show you how I created that in Unity's visual effect graph. First of all, go to Edit, Preferences, Visual Effect and enable experimental operators, and you can also enable improved shader graph generation. After enabling this, you'd get an shader graph field to merge shader in your effect. Like I said, I'm not going through every step in this video. The files are provided in the description, but I will shortly go through the graph here.
Now that's fresh mountain-grown coffee from the hills of Colombia.
You can see we have 4 nodes: spawn, initialize particle, update particle and output. You can simply understand this as the lifetime duration of an effect, and the blocks inside them determines what will happen in this period of their lifetime. I will write more on this in the description. Following up with this effect, create an empty object in the scene and add the visual effect component to it. Set the field of asset template with a newly created visual effect, and after that set the properties for your desired effect. If you hit the play button on the screen, you'd get something like this. We have successfully created scene distorting Shockwave effect.
Finally!
I've used this particle effect in certain events in the game, like when our weapon contacts with other objects in the scene or when our character does any sort of heavy actions, that is ground smash. The technique I followed is the object pooling method. This method of creating object is very performative when there is high number of repeated instantiations in the scene. The process is to pre-instantiate objects before the gameplay and working with them by activating and deactivating during the gameplay. Particle effect storage is the script that handles the pooling system. You can see it holds lots of other particles with the Shockwave and their required datasets. When I run the game, it creates a very organized list of instantiated objects. Now I just have to call a line to initiate a Shockwave. Like you can see, this method is called when our sword hits any external objects. Here we call particle effect storage by sending the code of Shockwave. It returns the pool particle object of that Shockwave in which we will initiate the play method. The play method takes 2 parameters, timer and location. It then places the object at given location, plays the visual effect, and after the timer ends, it will remerge itself to the particle effect storage to be called next time. If you're not familiar with object pooling system, then you can instantiate the object during the gameplay. Alright then, this is the ending of the tutorial. Hope you find this helpful, and if you got anything to say, then please comment it out. I'll get you the reply. And let me give you a quick update on what I'm doing with the fan-made game God of War based on Hindu mythology. If you're new to this, then I'm up to creating a short game inspired by God of War, but taking the scene into completely new direction. Everything except Kratos is going to be made out of new concepts and ideas. Recently I get the level designing to a certain point and is still working to complete lots of other parts like modeling new places, light baking, cutscenes, animation events and additional activities that helps to portray the story. Lots of work needs to be done, but I'm still willing to get this thing completed pretty soon. Also a short update on combat mechanics. It has been updated to a new height where spamming buttons won't make you win the opponent. I added enemies indicators, dash system, blood splitting on body, new attack animations to enemies, and some few changes to the character itself. Like you can see here, this is the enemy character that I'm currently working with. This creature is a Gory of the island. They sacrifice living beings to the gods of their island and eat the ashes after burning the sacrifice. After working for almost a week, I finalized this model with a new weapon and textures, and my vision for this piece is to break the character reputation that are still in big games and industries. I'm planning to randomize every enemy that spawns in the game with their own looks, personalities, accessories, body types, animation styles and whatever it's possible. I know what AAA games still have repeating enemy characters, and I'm very aware of limitations and tech support to have this functionality in the game. Anyway, by staying inside the border of my limitations, I will try my best to create something that may take this game to a new level. You can see I already managed to give different shapes and sizes to each newly generated enemies in the scene. The height has variations and so do the body types and facial structures. Now I will further add new ways to make them more random by keeping the feel that illustrates all of them as being related to the same tribe. Finally, if you think I should continue making this type of content, then let me know by hitting the subscribe and like button below this video. And if you want to get notified whenever I post a new video, then turn on the bell icon. The next tutorial video is going to be on how to make this trail effect that distorts the air. Until then, thank you for watching, goodbye and take care.